have a memory like a sieve, and that was like 17 years ago. I'm just checking what the scoreline was, and I will be right with you. Actually, it's longer than that, Wednesday. That was 20 years ago. 2005 was 20 years ago. I swear I just heard a sheep. How the hell did I just hear a sheep? We're not near a bloody farm. Christ knows what that was. Okay, so that final, bloody hell, if I can find it. Arsenal won it. I just want to check what the score was. Oh, they beat it. That was it. Yeah, they beat us via the penalty shootout, didn't they? We were the better team pretty much all the way through. United were, and Arsenal took it to pens and won the match. Back then I was really beat. Like, that doesn't seem fair to me, how a team can be that crap and win. You know, I was 20 years old at the time. It really wound me up. So yeah, 2005, I was indeed 20 years old. I don't actually know where I got this from, if I'm being honest with you, because when I was in high school, when I was like 15, 16, my form tutor would go to all the games and pick up the programmes for me from the big Champions League games, etc. But this one, I think my dad's friend went. He used to have a season ticket at United. I think he went down to Wembley to watch this match. Sorry, at Cardiff. This was at Cardiff. I can safely say I did not go. But this programme was £8.50 back in 2005. So 20 years later, I can only imagine what the price of programmes are these days. If you know, let me know. What do you pay for football programmes at the big teams these days? A lot of this we're going to skip through until we get to the juicy bits. So we've got a message from the FA chairman, Jeff Thompson, or the Football Association chairman. We've got it in Welsh as well because this was in Cardiff, the match was played. Do you remember when all the England games, all the Wembley matches basically, not the England games, they were played like around England, like Manchester, Old Trafford, etc., etc. That's where the games for England were played back then. But when Wembley was being rebuilt, all the like playoff games and FA Cup finals, etc., were played at the Millennium Stadium in Wales. Here we've got the contents pages. I don't care what anyone says. You can throw at me your Jurgen Klopps against Pep Guardiola's, your Arteta's against Pep, Arteta against Slot. You can throw all these rivalries of managers at me. The greatest rivalry I've seen in the Premier League. Forget Jose. No. He just go in and basically Abramovich give him like as much money as he could give him until Jose got the business done basically. That was his first season, weren't it, I think. But this rivalry here, Arsene Wenger and Alex Ferguson, they are the best in each other. It was such a good rivalry. Two of the best teams to ever play in the Premier League in my lifetime was that United team, and not so much that Arsenal team of 2005, but the one with Bergkamp, who was a bit younger, and Overmars, Petit, Vieira. Guys, I have to apologise for any racket you can hear. We have workmen working right outside our house, and I reckon that's making a right load of noise right now. I don't know, they've got a gap in this. I'm in the outhouse, like a garage, and there is a gap in the window because it's an old garage, and I can't block it. I'll have to get some strong tape, just tape it over. Going forwards, I mean, not now. Here we have great FA Cup moments. Hang on. is when I think Coventry did they beat Tottenham that day. Looks like it. Back in the day, in the 80s and etc., early 90s, FA Cup finals would go to a replay. Yeah, I think if it was a draw, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Which is crazy when you think about it. So young, who's that? Is that Mike Owen or? Yeah, look at that Mike Owen back then, 20 years ago. Christ. Trevor Brooking. I remember when Trevor Brooking used to be a host on Match of the Day. Got a young Wayne Rooney there. I think that's Cesc Fabregas or Reyes. I can't tell. Got Rooney in his pomp, how slim he was. Got England players here: Sol Campbell, Frank Lampard, David Beckham, Steven Gerrard. What the hell this bit's about, I do not know. These, so apparently they thought it was necessary to go around asking celebrities for their predictions for the final. So we had Bradley Walsh. I'll give you the ones that like ex-footballers, random ones. We got Bradley Walsh, Paul Kay, who played Dennis Pennis, Eamon Holmes. Okay, he's a big United fan, that's understandable. Alid Bloody Jones, flip me. Nicky Flipping Sanderson. Nicky Bloody Sanderson. Okay, she's a United fan by the looks of it, but Christ on a bike. You got Brian Robson with no picture giving his opinion, and you got Nicky Sanderson. Flip me. If you don't remember Nicky Sanderson, she was in Coronation Street back in the day. From Minehead to Millennium, so they're saying like the FA Cup started back that season 781 games earlier, 10 months earlier at Minehead, and now they are in the final at the Millennium Stadium. Young United player there, David Jones. I don't think he went to have a career with United, I'm pretty sure he didn't. This is just giving you the different rounds and some of the results that happened in the different rounds of the FA Cup leading up to the final and who the player of the round was. So here we have Nottingham Forest wide man Chris Commons turned in a man of the match performance as the Championship side held Tottenham to a 1-1 draw at White Hart Lane. That was in round 5. In round 4, player of the round was Kevin Gall, who was playing for Yeovil at the time. In round 6, Shay Given was the player of the round, apparently, as he was playing for, who was he playing for at the time? Newcastle. He was a very good keeper, Shay Given, wasn't he? And he was in that Newcastle side back then. Went on to play for Man City, didn't he, at some point? And a few other teams. But yeah, he kept them in it against Tottenham. So Tottenham must have beat Forest in the replay and went to play Newcastle in the 6th round. In the semi-finals, Rude, big old Rude Van Nistelrooy was the player of the round, as he scored on 19 minutes against Newcastle. I actually have the programme just over there for the semi-final of United against Newcastle, or unless that was for the final. I'm not certain because United played Newcastle in the final, didn't they? Let's have a look. Wait there. as a kid, waiting at the matches for the games to start, be having a good read through, and on the way back. Anyway, now we're on to Arsenal. They were the 9 times winner of the FA Cup at this point. The top scorer, Cliff Baston, he had 42 FA Cup games with 26 goals. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Arsene Wenger. All he wanted to do is bring the cup to Highbury. We've got an interview with, I think with Wenger there, an Arsene Wenger interview. Apologies, the workmen have started up again. And then it gives you Arsenal's road to the final. So they beat Stoke 2-1 in round 3. Round 4 they beat Wolves 2-0. Round 5 they drew with Sheffield United, and then they actually drew a second time with them in the replay. So they drew from at Highbury, then drew at Bramall Lane and went through 4-2 on pens. Then they beat Bolton 1-0 away in round 6. So Arsenal weren't convincing. I mean, they beat Stoke 2-1. I don't know where Stoke were at that point, what league they were in. Wolves 2-0. Sheffield United had to get a replay. Bolton away, they beat 1-0. And then they beat Blackburn 3-0 in the semi-final. I'm pretty sure we had a much tougher route, but we'll get to that in a minute. Patrick Vieira, what a player. Not only was Wenger and Fergie a great rivalry, but Vieira and Keane, what a rivalry that was. What a great rivalry that was between them two. When United played Arsenal, you knew it was going to kick off between them two. Sometimes before they even got onto the pitch. Here we have Cesc Fabregas. Great young player. I think his career took a bit of a... He went a bit downhill, didn't he, when he went to Barcelona. He was desperate to go back there. Did go back. And then ended up at Chelsea. And you got to think, if he just stayed at Arsenal for his career, what could have been? But look at that. Now, here at Arsenal, Robin Van Persie used to irritate the hell out of me. I didn't think he was that good early on. He was a bit of a dirty player. But then, as soon as he went to United, hell, he was my favourite player for a couple of seasons. Here we go. We've got the Arsenal team here, or squad, with Robert Pires taking you on a tour of the Highbury dressing room and reveals why Ljungberg is so popular and which Gunnar has a coin in his sock. We're not going to read all the little bits, but we've got Jens Lehmann, who was their goalkeeper at the time, big annoying German. Gerd Clichy, played left back for them, went to Man City. Kolo Touré, centre back, also played for Celtic and Man City. Also for Liverpool for a little bit, didn't he? Pascal, I mean, this is what I'm saying, this Arsenal team was not that good. They had Pascal Sigan there. I remember when they signed him, even the Arsenal fans were impressed. Cesc Fabregas. I never knew his name was Francesc Fabregas, strangely. Patrick Vieira. Manuel Almunia, who went on to play for Watford, was it, as well, I believe. Ashley Cole. What was it? One of the best left backs to have played in the Prem. Bit concerning that Philippe Senderos, out of all the players on this page, gets the biggest block. I mean, he's got the biggest picture. Philippe Senderos, seriously. We've got Vieira, Sol Campbell, Freddie Ljungberg, Gilberto Silva, Lauren played right back, Mathieu Flamini went to AC Milan, and Robert Pires on the left wing. One of my favourite players in the Arsenal team, out of all these players, was Robert Pires. What a player. Then we've got a few more over here. Edu, who went on to help out Arsenal last season, working back at the club, is now at Forest. Dennis Bergkamp, Robin Van Persie, Jose Antonio Reyes. Never worked out from there, did it, at Arsenal. Jeremy Aliadier, another one who never made an impact at Arsenal. goals though in 385 games. But then you had Vieira, 181 goals in 292 games. Look at some others. Van Persie, 10 goals in 38 at 21. Not bad. I think it took him a good few years to establish himself as a very good Premier League player. Good enough to play for us anyway. We've got this lady here, Amy Lawrence, picking her best Arsenal FA Cup players. Her best 11. We've got Pat Rice, David Seaman in goal, Pat Rice, who went to work for the club, alongside Wenger as an assistant, Andy Linnigan, Frank McClintock, Eddie Hapgood, Freddie Lundberg, strangely, Alex James, Joe Mercer, Liam Brady, Charlie George, and Reg Lewis. I think this is based. Oh, okay, so this Reg Lewis bloke here, he scored 392 goals in 451 games. Wow. That's pretty bloody impressive, to be fair. Henry didn't even make the bench. It was Dan Lewis in goal, Tony Adams, Patrick Vieira, Ian Wright, and Alan Sunderland on the bench. Some more bits from ex-Arsenal players. Where's the United stuff? Yeah, where's the exciting stuff at? This is the top 20 FA Cup goals up to this point. I think they're saving United for the back part because we're the best. It's got the rivalries now. Got rivals, got Vieira versus Keane, Thierry Henry against Rio Ferdinand. Back when Rio had a different hairstyle. Ashley Cole versus Ronaldo, and Wenger versus Ferguson. Now we got different suits that have been worn of the FA Cup over the years. Remember when Liverpool rocked up in the white kit, the white suit, sorry, and got beat by United in the final? It's quite funny. Wow, we're at 70 odd pages in here and still no United stuff. Obviously saving us for the end. Here we go, Man United. Top scorer, Dennis Law, 46 games, 34 goals. We had won the FA Cup 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 11 times at this point. And runners up 5 times. Fergie's interview and article was Rooney, Henry, Stanley Matthews. Man United's road to the final. So United drew with Exeter, not a great start, and then that was Old Trafford, bear in mind. I reckon we had the kids out that day, and then we beat them 2-0 away in the replay. We had Rooney and Ronaldo on the pitch in the replay. Ronaldo started the first game, which is quite concerning. I think I want to be reminded about that day somehow by some old Exeter player in a few years' time. Remember that time we held you to a draw? United then beat Middlesbrough 3-0 in whichever round that bloody 4. Round 5 to beat Everton 2-0. Round 6 they battered Southampton 4-0 away, and in the semi-final beat Newcastle 4-1. That's what I'm saying. United had a much tougher route. Newcastle away in the semi-final, Southampton away, Everton away, Middlesbrough at home, Exeter away in a replay. Interview with Roy Keane here, or an article about him rather. And then we go on to the United team. Okay, so this was not United at their best, if we're being honest about it. I mean, it was when we was going through our phase of ever struggling to get a good goalkeeper. We had Tim Howard and Roy Carroll as our keepers. That says it all. Defence, Wes Brown wasn't terrible. Neville lived up to what I thought it could be. Phil Neville. Gabriel Heinze. So disappointed that he didn't get longer at United. That lad was a destroyer of wingers. He'd just take him out at the knees. Gary Neville. John O'Shea. Cleberson. Bloody hell. I can't remember Cleberson. We've never had a lot of luck over the years with Brazilians. In the past anyway. Roy Keane. Miguel Silvestre. Liam Miller. I remember we signed him from Celtic. There was a lot of hype around him and did not go too well. Darren Fletcher. Rio. David Bellion. Flip me. He ended up at Sunderland. Didn't do too bad there. Quentin Fortune. We actually had a rather shit team. Looking at it now, so on this page here we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 players. How many of them 15 would get anywhere near my team at that time? Heinze and Gary Neville. Roy Keane. And Rio. So, 4 of the 15 I'd have had at United at that time. Fletcher went on to have a good career. Silvestre was pretty decent, to be fair, so I'd have had him on the bench. But other than that, no, the other lot. John O'Shea was reliable without being too good. Here we go, the better players we've got. I mean, this sort of makes up with the crap back there, really, don't it? We've got Paul Scholes, Wayne Rooney, Louis Saha, Ronaldo, Solskjaer, who was 31 at the time, Ryan Giggs was 31, Ruud van Nistelrooy and Alan Smith. I mean, this was when Ruud was being phased out a bit at United. Our first choices, Rooney was coming through at 19 years old. He had 17 goals in 41 career games. So yeah, I don't know if that was for United at the time or between United and Everton. I think that was United because he played more than 40 games for Everton, didn't he? So 17 goals in 41 games is pretty impressive. Alan Smith as well, 10 goals in 41 games. So yeah, this lot, our attack has definitely made up for how shite our midfield and defence was. Gary Neville there. Alan Smith talking about his first ever FA Cup final. A little bit on Paul Scholes there. That goal Ryan Giggs scored, I was watching this I was a young lad. My mum had gone to work, my dad had took her, I believe. I think so anyway. And that goal Ryan Giggs scored in the FA Cup semi-final in '99 on our way to the treble against Arsenal in extra time. Oh, that'll probably go down as my favourite goal I've ever watched. That I've ever seen happen. I wasn't there, but I was watching on the telly, so again, apologies for that racket out there. These noisy buggers have no respect for the fact I'm trying to do this video. So, I think we should write a strongly worded letter telling them to politely piss off. I'll keep that sorted right after this video is finished, guys. But yeah, what a goal that was from Giggs. If you've never seen it, check it out on YouTube. It'll be on there somewhere under greatest goals ever scored. Then you got United's dream team. And just like FAQ, whatever. 124 things you need to know about the FA Cup. We ain't got time to do that. Anyway guys, I'm gonna go now. I just wanted to show you the teams really, more than anything. And how unlucky we were not to bloody win the game. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head who started for us that day. I'd have to look it up, but we were the better team and we should have won. And there's no justice in the world, is there, sometimes? And I did not know that was there. Look at that. There's actually a ticket in the back of here, right there. I don't know if whoever got me this program, maybe my dad's friend, maybe that was his ticket. If it was, he was sat in level 6, stair 31, gate 5, seat 1, aisle 614. £65 this ticket was. Probably about 800 quid.